Alright, we got some pretty big news from Marvel during SDCC. Not only is Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU, but he is playing a character that many, myself included, have been wanting to see for a while, that being Doctor Doom. Now for me, this came as a total shock. I saw it come up on Facebook and I had to double check, so I was like, there's no way this is a thing, but it is. I'm so conflicted on this casting because I love Robert Downey Jr., he's great, and I love Doctor Doom, he's my favorite Marvel villain. I honestly feel like he's one of the greatest villains possibly ever. So I love the actor and I love the character. I'm just not sure if I love that the actor is playing said character. Now obviously we have 2 years until Avengers Doomsday comes out. And that was also one of the big announcements for tonight, was that the next Avengers movie will be called Doomsday. They're apparently abandoning the Kang storyline, which I definitely don't mind. I just didn't really care for Kang or that story, so I'm glad to see it gone personally. But yeah, it's 2 years, so there's plenty of stuff that could come out between now and then, and of course the movie itself. I'm definitely going to reserve final judgment for when it comes out. It's just, it feels weird because obviously Robert Downey Jr. was Tony Stark, he was Iron Man, he was the face of the MCU for 11 years, so it does feel a bit weird to have the same actor play a completely different character in the same series. Now of course we got the multiverse stuff going on, so there's variants and whatnot, and the same actors playing technically different characters, but that leads to one of my biggest issues, in that I do not want Victor Von Doom or Doctor Doom to be a variant of Tony Stark. I just do not like that idea. Doctor Doom needs to be his own person, his own character. I really do not want to see him just be an evil Tony Stark. Now of course, especially going by the comic books, Doctor Doom is constantly in a suit of armor behind a mask, so if they stay true to that side, maybe it'll be okay, because you know, you won't see Robert Downey Jr.'s face. It's just kind of funny how him being behind the mask I feel like is both a point for and against him, because on the one hand his face would be hidden and you wouldn't have to worry about recognizing Tony Stark, I guess you could say, and it would be essentially a voice role for Robert Downey Jr. But at the same time, why cast him if he is going to be hidden behind that? I don't know, I feel like that argument could go either way, because you could still get his great acting without having to physically recognize him, but at the same time that just kind of feels weird. I don't know. And this just kind of complicates things for me, and I'm sure other fans too, in that I love Doctor Doom and I've been wanting to see a great version of him on screen for a long time, and I've always thought that the MCU would be the perfect place for it. I honestly didn't mind Julian McMahon's Doctor Doom in the two mid-2000s Fantastic Four films. Wasn't great. I thought Julian McMahon was okay in the part, but still not the best, and of course the less said about Fan Four Stick the better. I genuinely hate that movie. I hate their version of Doctor Doom. He just looks like an angry C-3PO with a trash bag. Just garbage. So Doctor Doom does not have the best track record, unfortunately, and now it's just like, oh great, the next one might just be an evil Iron Man. And overall, that's what really dampens my excitement, is just I do not want him to be an evil Iron Man. I cannot stress that enough. Doctor Doom as a character is just so much more than that. And then I feel like it's going to be kind of weird just to have Doom just kind of show up, because obviously the Kang storyline is coming to an end. As I said before, I don't mind that. Don't really care for Kang as a character, didn't really care about that story, but now it just seems like Doom's just gonna show up and just be the big bad all of a sudden. And obviously he can still be well done that way. It's just with what we've had before with Thanos, you know, the build up and everything, it's gonna feel a little weird. And with Secret Wars following Avengers Doomsday, I can only assume that they're gonna go with the 2015 Secret Wars comic with God Emperor Doom and all that, which that'd be very cool. Again, please be Victor Von Doom, not related to Tony Stark doing this, please. That's one thing I'll say too, in that the Russo brothers during the panel did specifically say Victor Von Doom. That doesn't necessarily discredit the idea of him being a Tony Stark variant, but at the very least it does give me hope. But you know what, at the very least I will say, I'm sure this will be done fairly well on the whole, regardless of what they decide to do, regardless on if there are things that I and others don't really enjoy. You know, I'm sure it'll be fine. Even things that I'm not the biggest fan of in the MCU, I tend to think that they do at least pretty well. And of course, Robert Downey Jr. is an incredible actor, so he'll be fantastic in the part regardless. I do hate to sound a bit negative about this casting news. There's been speculation for years about people to play Doctor Doom. Henry Cavill, Cillian Murphy, Mads Mikkelsen, even though that's basically the same issue, just on a smaller scale. I've always thought that Michael Fassbender would be great as Doom. Not to mention Jaime Lannister, and I'm just saying Jaime Lannister because I forget how to properly pronounce his name and I don't want to be that guy messing it up. So yeah, I'm very skeptical about this casting news, but despite that, I do have some excitement because, again, Robert Downey Jr. is an incredible actor, so I feel like even if I don't really agree with him playing the part, I'm sure he'll be great in it. My issue is more so story-wise and character-wise with everything, so hopefully they do that well. The Russos have been great with everything in the MCU, so I have faith in them at the very least. It is an interesting choice and has people talking. I mean, I felt compelled to do something a bit different from Transformers here, so hey, and whether or not I like the end result, I am excited to see how it turns out. But tell me, what do you think about the casting of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you think he'll be good in the part? And do you think he'll just be an Iron Man variant, or do you think they'll keep him as his own thing, just played by the same actor as Iron Man? Let me know down in the comments. And before we go, I wanted to thank my patrons. In my average bird tier, there is Schmoptimus Prime, and in my Birds of Prey tier, there is Austin Gillis and Darth Spooby. Really appreciate the channel support, guys. You're awesome. And as always, I want to give a big thanks to everyone for watching, and have a good one.